Assassinating their own emperor is obviously something a bodyguard should not do. And yet the Praetorian Guards of Rome did exactly this multiple times. How? Well, it's complicated. We'll start with something juicy: the murders. Emperors Caligula and Pertinax were assassinated by the Guard in 41 AD and 193 AD respectively. Why? Abuse of power and extreme cruelty, excessive taxation, and poor military decision-making are the reasons for Caligula's death. Attempted reforms of the Guard and financial austerity resulted in Pertinax being assassinated. It is after his death the Praetorians auctioned off the throne to the highest bidder, leading to the rule of Emperor Didius Julianus. But how did the Guard find itself in such a situation? It began at their very inception. The Praetorian Guard, instituted by Augustus Caesar in 27 BCE, marked a pivotal development in the structure of imperial security in ancient Rome. Formed from the amalgamation of select troops in the wake of civil war, the Praetorians were established with a specific focus on safeguarding the Roman emperor and maintaining order within the capital city Rome. Their responsibilities extended beyond serving as bodyguards and maintaining political order. They also acted as a form of highly trained elite police unit. By stationing the Praetorians in Rome, Augustus aimed to create a force capable of swift response to any threats against the emperor and the central governance of the empire. Over time, however, the Praetorian Guard's role evolved beyond these militaristic functions, encompassing a broader scope that included ceremonial duties, intelligence gathering, and, importantly, acting as a symbol of the emperor's authority. As mentioned previously, the Guard, leveraging their proximity to the emperor, have been involved in removing multiple emperors from power. Their first victim would be Gaius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, better known as Caligula. Led by Cassius Chaerea, the Praetorians assassinated Caligula on the 24th of January, 41 AD. The conspiracy by Rome's elite to murder Caligula was motivated by a number of reasons, ranging from his erratic behavior, corruption, and potentially a desire to restore the Roman Republic. Any attempts to restore the Republic were immediately thwarted by the Guard, however, as they unexpectedly proclaimed Claudius as the new emperor. This would alter the course of Roman politics forever, cementing the Roman imperial system and establishing the Praetorians as a political faction that future emperors would need to appease, lest they end up murdered. This would not go unaddressed by future emperors, however. They were also involved in the assassinations of multiple other emperors, even if they themselves did not kill their charge. Specifically, they played significant roles in the assassinations of Nero, Commodus, and Caracalla. In the case of Claudius's successor Nero, who ruled from 54 to 68 CE, the Praetorians withdrew their support during a time of political unrest. Facing the threat of imminent arrest and execution, Nero chose to end his own life in 68 CE. The Praetorians' withdrawal of support and endorsement of Galba marked a turning point in Nero's reign, contributing to the downfall of one of Rome's most infamous emperors. Commodus, who reigned from 180 to 192 CE, faced a different fate at the hands of the Praetorian Guard. His erratic behavior and despotic rule led to widespread discontent. In 192 CE, as a conspiracy against him unfolded, the Praetorian prefect Laetus orchestrated the assassination of Commodus. He was strangled in the bath by his wrestling partner Narcissus. The involvement of the Praetorians in his death marked the end of the Antonine dynasty and set the stage for the tumultuous year of the Five Emperors. The assassination of the succeeding Emperor Pertinax in 193 CE marked a turbulent period in Roman history. Pertinax had ascended to the throne after the murder of Emperor Commodus and sought to bring discipline and order to the Roman army and empire respectively. However, his efforts to reform the Praetorian Guard and curb their privileges led to growing discontent among the elite force. Pertinax's commitment to financial austerity further fueled resentment as he attempted to address the fiscal excesses left by his predecessor. Motivated by a desire to maintain their privileges and resist the emperor's attempts at discipline, members of the Praetorian Guard turned on him. On March 28, 193 AD, the Guard orchestrated a mutiny, stormed the imperial palace, and assassinated Pertinax. The outcome of this event was the auctioning of the imperial throne by the Praetorians, demonstrating their disregard for imperial authority and status as unofficial power brokers. The position itself was auctioned off, in the end won by the wealthy senator Didius Julianus. Ironically, Julianus too was assassinated. While some speculate that it was by a Praetorian, most sources remain uncertain. Cassius Dio's account of events simply states that Didius was murdered by a soldier. He would then be succeeded by Septimius Severus. The Praetorian murders did not end, however. Severus had a co-ruler, the co-emperor Caracalla. Caracalla, ruling from 211 to 217 CE, met his demise during a visit to the temple of the moon god in Carrhae. The Praetorian prefect Macrinus led a conspiracy against him, resulting in his assassination in 217 CE. Macrinus subsequently claimed the imperial title, becoming emperor himself. Having died on the 4th of February 211, Severus was understandably unable to act as Macrinus killed Caracalla and seized the throne for himself. Considering the concerningly frequent murder, one may wonder how the Praetorian Guard was viewed by the Roman public. To say controversially is generous. The people of Rome viewed the Praetorian Guard with a mixture of fear, resentment, and dependence. On one hand, the Praetorians were responsible for maintaining the security of the emperor and the capital, a role that was crucial for stability. However, the Guard's proximity to the emperor allowed them to manipulate imperial decisions, leading to a justifiable perception of corruption and abuse of power. The Praetorian influence in politics and their involvement in various assassinations created a sense of unease among the Roman populace, who witnessed the Guard's capacity to shape the course of the empire through force and intrigue. The Praetorian Guard's auctioning of the imperial throne in 193 CE, following the assassination of Emperor Pertinax, marked a particularly low point in their reputation. This event showcased their ability to prioritize personal gain over the stability of the empire, reinforcing negative perceptions among the Roman people. In 312 CE, Emperor Constantine the Great took the decisive step to dissolve the Praetorian Guard. This move was prompted by the Praetorians' consistent interference in political affairs, leading to instability within the Roman Empire. Over time, the Praetorian Guard had evolved from a protective force to a politically influential entity, often manipulating imperial succession and decision-making. Emperor Constantine, recognizing the detrimental impact of the Praetorians on the stability of the empire, disbanded the Guard. This decision marked the end of the Praetorian Guard's role as the emperor's personal protectors. The dissolution was a significant event in Roman history, symbolizing the shift away from reliance on a powerful and at times unpredictable imperial guard. It reflected the changing dynamics of Roman governance and the need for more stable institutions to ensure the longevity of the empire. The Praetorian Guard's dissolution under Constantine was a crucial moment that reshaped the trajectory of Roman military and political structures, contributing to the evolving nature of imperial security in the later years of the Roman Empire. The Praetorians themselves would be replaced by the Scholae Palatinae, who would in turn be replaced by the famous Varangian Guard. Be sure to let us know in the comments if you want videos on these units too.